longer. It's in the topic of urban forestry. The city of Tempe has passed the goal of achieving 25% canopy cover by 2040. Since the city of Tempe only owns approximately 3% of the land, how do you foresee achieving this goal? Do you have specific ideas on how to work with private landowners, homeowners, businesses, and the like?
Ms. Lee, will we go through?
Thank you.
Sure, yes. I've been very proud to be involved and integral to our urban forestry plan, and proud to be involved with the financing, looking at really innovative ways to finance it through carbon offsets, and where we plant the trees and we have the trees operation and maintenance costs paid for, as long as we maintain a healthy canopy. And you ask a good question there, because we do need to reach out to our residents, and that's why the council is discussing an incentive program for homeowners. Right now, as SRP customer, you can plant 2 trees. We want to encourage more tree planting, smart tree planting though, using deep core. We want to get to the taproot and have it be a deep taproot so we can plant smart. So after a year of watering, maybe you don't have to water. So we're looking at incentivizing that and creating, after a season, you'd have your the cost of your tree paid for. We're also looking at some of our shopping malls and developments from long ago that had landscaping plans that have kind of gone awry. We want to make sure to enforce our landscaping codes and make sure that they plant, and if they need incentives to plant more to get to that 25% goal, we will help with that, I believe. To me, it's a fundamental investment in our health and our community. When you think about trees, shade is a transportation issue fundamentally. If you want to walk comfortably from point A to point B in Tempe, you need shade. If you want to bike, you need to have shade to kind of shade your way. And it's about creating healthy communities, because we know from study that shady communities are healthier. So we're looking at a lot of innovative ways to finance our tree planting, because we do, doubling the tree and shade by 2040 is an investment, but with this innovative financing model, we're going to get there. And shout out to Bonnie Richardson, our staff person, who brought this urban forestry plan to the public. For 3 years, she's been working tirelessly to get all sorts of input from citizens, students, faculty at the university. We have the best urban forestry plan that could possibly have been designed.
First of all, I just want to say, like, the urban forestry program that was put forward and everything was a great initiative, and I was really proud of our council and city staff to take those steps. But with that, I think, like, there's other ways to also help make sure we reach that goal and get some of the shade in the Tempe. I know a lot of the neighborhood grants right now are very heavy with water issues, and some of them are going into, like, you get a reduced rate for a water issue, you get more bang for your buck with the Marianne Corridor grant. I would like to see that with trees as well. I think we could do that and make it more of a, I know a lot of neighborhoods going with multiple neighborhoods to try to get as many trees as they can and talk to their residents and see who's on board. And I think there's a way for the city to get involved with that and capitalize like that, like they have with the water aspect of that already with that grant. I'd also I'd be interested to explore the idea of giving some sort of subsidies or rebates to property owners that have old growth trees. I do agree that we need to have desert resilient trees, but at the same time, I do think, like in some specific neighborhoods and everything, we need to find a way to keep the old growth that we do have, because it's going to destroy the canopy quicker than having more trees come up. And I think we should have more trees, but we should also try to keep the canopy that we already have. I also would like to see, so I'd like to see some sort of program involved, put forward with that. We'd have to go to a work study session and see where we can find funds to have some sort of subsidy for that or some sort of rebate. But we're really good, Tempe is really good with finding those type of rebates for home conservation, and I think that'd be another great home conservation rebate. I'd also like to make sure that the character areas that are being developed right now, at least, well, or the ones that are going to be developed in the future, including Character Area 3, which is being done right now, really focuses on shade and tree growth and really addresses the urban forestry plan.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I think urban forestry is extremely important. One, it lowers our heat signature, which is healthy for our communities. I will say, though, from a neighborhood perspective, I think some of the Marianne Corridor neighborhood grants, I think, are really important there, and we see a lot of good initiatives here, but we also see a lot of neighborhoods that aren't very well organized to be able to apply for some of these grants. I would love to see, maybe I'll challenge council members, I would love to see us walking in the communities where we don't have organized neighborhood associations, knock on those doors, tell them, hey, there's a bike path coming down Country Club, we'd like to plant more trees, can we put them in your yard? This is about livability for our city, right? It's a really important, does that mean you're going to accept my challenge to go knock on doors? I just think it's a really important issue that we get into all the communities and not just the well-organized ones. And that's incumbent on council members to go connect with the communities for that particular situation. And we all know the best time to plant a tree is 7 years ago, right? So we really need to get this momentum going. I love a rebate program. I love using existing landscaping models and the way that we can do water audits on our landscaping to incorporate this. You can maintain your current water level if you plant more trees here, things like that. I think there's a way to incorporate this in multiple things that we do, and we just need to look at ways of communicating that a little bit more and better with our communities.
Thank you. First of all, I'm a huge supporter of urban forestry. It's a really important program, especially in Arizona when we have such high temperatures. I want to empower residents, businesses, and organizations and city staff to collaboratively create and care for urban forests that provides 25% canopy by 2040, improve mobility so we can walk and be in shade when we're walking from one place to the other. I want to increase our park and open space public use through strategic and efficient utilization of natural, economic, and human resources to expand and care for healthy, biodiverse urban forest canopy. Increase tree canopy all over the city. And also, one thing that people don't always realize is it also helps with stormwater drainage when we have nice trees to slow that down. And we need to have the transition strategy to increase it by 25%. Educate businesses, landscapers, and property owners on proper tree maintenance. A lot of times people don't know how to cut the trees and then they end up hurting them. So we wouldn't need to do that. We need to increase canopy in parking lots and along walkways to increase customer comfort. Allow for shaded bike lanes and sidewalks. We need to ensure that trees are planted on commercial property and maintained properly so we don't lose them to storms, disease, age, and neglect. I am concerned about certain areas of city cutting down their mature trees because of the high water rates. So we need to find a balance there so they do not cut down the trees and continue to promote our shade canopy. Thank you very much.
So I'm Jewish, and in the Jewish tradition, we actually have a birthday of the trees called Tu B'Shvat, and it's today. So happy birthday, trees. So it's definitely something through the celebration of that holiday and just Jewish tradition. Trees are really important. We actually sometimes give gifts of a tree, but planted somewhere, and then you get a certificate that says a tree was planted in your name. So definitely a big supporter of urban forestry. We know it makes things cooler, more walkable, more diverse habitat. It enhances property values, makes things more beautiful, and makes our communities healthier. I echo some of the ideas that have been stated about, I think the incentivizing homeowners to plant is really great, and we know low water, drought tolerant trees don't use a lot of water. And so that's a way we can incentivize families to plant trees and increase our shade. I think the recession kind of hurt some of the park updates that are now occurring, and so we can use those updates as an opportunity to plant more trees in the parks and increase our shade there, and educating and incentivizing businesses to do the same. I think Justin's idea about rebates for the old growth trees is also really great. So there's lots to be done, and I think Tempe can do it.
Thank you. So I have a follow-up question. Urban